episode of my podcast, The Real Talk with Claudia Mostaghasi. That's me. I have today Ventura.
Hi.
Hi, Ventura.
Hello.
So, Ventura is my new marketing specialist.
Mhm.
What title do we really put you? Because I don't remember.
Marketing coordinator.
Marketing
was.
coordinator. I don't know, like you can put a lot of stuff on the marketing, but
for
he's
sure.
just awesome on marketing. So I found out Ventura was actually my intern this summer. So every summer I ask, oh, anybody's looking for an internship and, just to kind of like learn about the mortgage industry and all that. And he was referred to me by our best friend, Kenny Wood.
Kenny Wood.
Hi, Kenny.
Hi, Kenny.
I hope Kenny's like watching us.
I know, right? We have to send it for sure.
Yeah. And so Kenny referred him to me. And when I met Ventura, I was like, okay, Kenny, are you ready to lose Ventura? Because he's definitely going to stay here with us. So anyhow, like after the summer, then we officially hired him. And you had tell us about you, because I know you had just graduated and all that stuff. So
yes. So back in May of this year, 2022, I graduated with my bachelor's in marketing, and then I got a minor in digital journalism. And then so literally the week after I graduated, Kenny had sent me your Facebook post and was like, hey, she's looking for interns. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. Why not? What's the worst that'll happen? I don't get it. Or you know what? I go and then I don't like it. And then I just start looking for jobs again. But I went, and the first day Claudia was very like intense about, she's like, I know I want to do this. I want to do that. And then, fresh out of college, I'm like, yes, like let's do it all. Let's just do it all. Because first off, it's like I get the opportunity to get my own experience as well as giving you the opportunity to try new things.
Yeah, because all of this is new to me. Like I told him, I said I want to do a podcast, and I mean, believe it or not, everybody's like, oh, your accent and blah blah blah, and I'm always saying like I don't have an accent, and then I record something and then I hear myself and I'm like, oh my god, I sound so stupid. I don't want to do that. My accent is horrible, so I never like it. So I was telling him, I said I don't know anything about video or taking videos or anything like that. I know I want to do a podcast. We have to give Gino a shout out too, because
definitely.
Gino helped us to like buy this microphone and buy this, and so we did all that. But I really like how you were super excited about all my crazy ideas. So we started the podcast.
We've even gotten more into digital marketing with our videos that we've been posting. If you're not liking them and favoriting them and sharing them, then we have a problem. Okay, I'm just joking. No, it's okay. But
no, it's not okay.
It's
like,
not
they
okay.
They have to like them, and
we have to be a little nice right now.
And then we started the newsletter.
Yes.
So he's in charge of our monthly newsletter. So if you have done business with us, you're a realtor or even a title company or a past client or current client, you're going to start getting these newsletter on your email. And they're really cool because you're adding certain topics.
Yeah, it's going to give more or less inside scoop into like what the market is right now. I know it's easier said to just read it off of, a random news source, but when you're getting it from the direct person who's pretty much running it right now, you're going to learn a lot. And then you're also getting an inside scoop of our offices. We have some great achievements that are going on. We've had 2 ladies that are celebrating 2 years with us.
Yep.
I just got into my master's program. So
yeah, we celebrated that with a cake too.
So you'll get to see certain things like that that's happening in the office. And I don't think there's a lot of people in town and I guess professional things like that where they share that. I think it's going to be really cool.
And then we do, you learn about the crazy things that we come up with. Like we have pancakes, Friday pancakes.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm actually making breakfast for the office on Fridays. So he's like doing all these videos. He's very big on like TikToks and all that. So he's helping me get into that. And I think the fun part is that I just kind of like, I tell him like, oh, I have this idea. And then he's like, he puts it together. So what would you say? Let's talk about like realtors, for example, and, you know, how we're helping them, you know, with their marketing and their like how to reach out more clients and everything. What would you recommend a realtor? So let's say I'm a new realtor and I'm like, okay, I want to put my name out there. Like, what platforms will you say that it's better for them?
So first off, you want to examine the market exactly. And I'm not talking about the housing market. I'm talking about your customer base. So if you're, you know, a new realtor, you might say, oh, I want to sell to everybody. But that might not work because if you need to find a target market. So if you're trying to find someone with who has the money ready to go, the odds are you're going to want to go to an older generation. So you're going to want to focus more or less on videos that give an easy explanation rather than information dumping, because information dumping for anybody, it's like in one ear out the other. But when you're detailed and you're talking to the type of customer you want to work with, it's going to be easier for them to digest and easier for them to want to reach out for you for other questions that they might have. So that's something I always suggest. You know, you want to be able to make your content accessible to anybody, but also know who you're talking to, you know,
to do the video. So yeah, I see sometimes some videos that I'm just like, okay, what did they say again? And then I have to like rewind it. And then obviously like the newer generation, they're like super good with like, I mean, even like, I don't know if I show you one time, Alexa did a video for like one of her classes, and she was literally like doing like a cake or cookies or something, and she like record herself, and like literally, I mean, the way the video came out, I was like, can you teach me how to do that? And she's like, Mom, like it's so easy. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know how to do it. I mean, it can be super easy, but I don't know how to do it. But so it is very important, however, realtors, that you do video and then you post things on social media.
Yeah.
I think to me it's just not just like the videos about, you know, work and, you know, homes and like, oh, I'm having an open house, but like more like
personal.
Yes, like more
something that I learned in college was, you know, if you were to look at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you're, say, Starbucks, for example, or even like Burger King, they'll have like rivalries with other competition on social media, like as if they're real humans, like talking to each other. And so then you get, you know, the viewers were looking at it like, oh my God, like Burger King is so funny. You know, out of a sudden, I think I want Burger King.
Yeah.
So when you give your brand a personality, people are going to be like, oh, I want to work with them. They seem cool. Like, you know what? Like with Claudia, that's kind of what our main focus has been.
I still think on the first episode I was like laughing way too much.
But see, that's what made it fun. That's what made it like, you know what? She's cool. She's funny.
I have a very loud laugh. And it's just like, ha 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 ha. I was like laughing with Catherine and Daniela about everything. So what other things, like, do you have any tips for the video making? Like what's easy? Like what would you, again, like let's say I'm a new realtor, I've never done videos. Like what would be your first recommendation for them?
So first recommendation, that's going to be the most user friendly for anybody, recording them straight off of Facebook or Instagram or even TikTok. You can directly edit it from there. But if you're looking to kind of step it up ever so slightly, but still not overcomplicating it, iMovie is another really good one for anybody who has an iPhone. It's the same thing, same kind of format that like the TikTok and Facebook, whenever you're recording, they have that same format where you just put the video in, put another thing that you would like, even like a graphic or something, and then you're good to go. We use a pretty good one that we got for editing our videos. So if any realtors are out there and if you'd like some help, let us know. Just make sure to send us some clients.
Well, we have like this room, like we have like a green screen, like we can help you record some videos if you want to. Ventura will probably charge me a bonus or something, but if you send me one client, then We can call it even.
There you go.
What about content?
Ooh.
How long do you talk about one same topic? Like, how long do you think that they should take talking about the topic? Or
so it kind of depends on what the impression you're trying to make. If you're trying to make it like, I need everyone to know about this like now, then you might want to kind of push it out maybe every other day just for the business week. I don't want to see it on Monday and then 2 Mondays from now you're talking about it still, because then the person's gonna be like, oh, I saw this before, oh, I've already read this before, like moving on. And that's kind of something that I think we've really kind of gotten down on. We try to post like a new video, a new content almost every day. So that's something that's really important. So you can really emphasize something for about a week or so, but after that, maybe you can talk about the next concept and then tie that original thought into your new one, and then showing how they work together.
So they don't do that. So tell me about, so you graduated from marketing and then digital journalism.
Yeah. Yes.
So you like to write.
Yes. So funny enough, I actually did the digital journalism as a joke, not a joke, but I was looking for a minor, and then
what was the joke?
The joke was, I was like, oh, I want to do the public relations. And then so I went to my advisor, and then for whatever reason, I started signing up for the digital journalism stuff. And then it wasn't till like the first week of school, and I was like, what's going on here? And then I realized I was in the digital journalism minor. I was like, you know what? I like this. I do like it, because it's basically just a content creating class. Like, right. You get in front of the camera. I think for some of the assignments, how I just made the joke earlier about I was a news reporter? That's literally what we had to do for some assignments. Like, it would be one cut and done type of thing. So you'd have to read a teleprompter. And
then pretend that you're the news reporter.
And any type of mistake you made was like 5 points off. Like,
so Ventura, how's the weather today?
Oh, it's great, Claudia. Thank you so much. You got to turn the weatherman voice on.
That's so funny. So, but do you like to write or no?
I do. Whenever I was in high school, I started really getting into it because I was taking like the AP classes, and you have to write a lot for those AP exams. And I just remember at first it became a chore, but then like once I started getting into it, and then once I noticed that I wasn't half bad, then I started liking it. Like I remember in college even too, like we'd get a 10-page paper and like, yeah, that sounds like horrible. But once you get into a rhythm, it just naturally flows out. Yeah. Like Sunday, I had a 10-page paper due. And literally Thursday, Friday night, I was like, oh my God, like I have so much to do. What am I going to do? And then literally like Saturday night, I was done. I was like, all right, anyway.
What is the master's that you're going for? Is it business?
Yeah, master's in business administration. So I'm taking an entrepreneurship class right now.
Oh, that's
so that one's really cool. And then I'm taking a marketing management class right now.
Marketing management?
Yeah, so honestly, that one's helping a lot. I'm learning some good stuff, and I'm like,
have to hire more people on your team. So I know. I can make him a manager.
Marketing manager, yeah.
So how has been your experience here with all the girls at a HomeSource Mortgage? So tell me, like, let's take out the tea, como diría mi tía, el chal, and let's talk about, like, who do you like, who don't you like, who's stressful, who's not as stressful.
So I plead the fifth. No, I'm just kidding. But so far, I love how all the ladies, there's an like inside jokes that everyone has with each other. Oh, yeah. And then so I'll see a couple of them laughing. I'm like, what are they talking about? And they're like, oh, XYZ. And I'm like, okay, like what's so funny about it? And then they're like, how is that not funny to you? And I'm like, oh, okay. But I love it because Lucy's the one that makes me laugh the most.
Lucy's funny.
So funny because I could be like, how's your day, Lucy? She's like, well, dude, I mean, I need to call this person. And then, you know what? I still haven't eaten yet. And then the baby's kicking. It's just like, oh. And it's so funny to me because I know she's being sincere. She's not trying to be funny. Like, oh my God, like life is crazy. It's just a sincere, like, this is what's happening. Yeah. And then with Daniela, I love whenever I get to work with Daniela in her office because her and I will be like, say I'm doing like a fire or some type the business plan that we were just doing. I would be showing Daniela and she's like, no, no. And I'm like, thank you, but gosh, you didn't have to call me out like that. But it helps.
Like say it pretty or not.
Yeah, I know. You can say great job, but no, but she's just
no,
like, no.
no.
But I love it because it helps. It really does. At first, whenever I had first started here, I noticed that it was very like everyone is ready to work, everyone is ready to do it. And I used to be a manager at Bath and Body Works, and so I was kind of used to that feeling, but it felt so different because this is more of a, I guess, professional environment. This is like a corporate type of thing. And I just remember I was like, okay, we're doing this because now I can't back out. Because like I can't just be like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna take Tuesday off.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the only thing I'll ever miss about working retail. Having like a random Tuesday off. Yes.
But here you don't work Saturdays.
See,
and
and that Saturdays.
Well, Saturdays sometimes, like here and there.
Here and there. I don't even really count it. But I never realized how fun weekends are. Like, because for the past like 5-6 years, well, I guess 5, I was working weekends.
And then you work there. You work Saturdays like until
like 10 o'clock. No, like 10:30. Wow. Christmas time was like midnight. And then on top of
like Christmas.
Because like, you know, the Black Friday or like we had the candle day where all the candles are like $10 or something like that. And so those are crazy days. You know
that I went, if Kenny really has to hear this. Like one time I went and like literally it was me and my daughter. And then I bought all these candles. And my daughter was like, Mom, Moses doesn't even like candles. Like, what are you going to do with all these candles? And I'm like, no, it's okay. The candles are still in the bag.
Really?
Like, I think, well, I should have not had said that out loud. Because now I can't even give them away. Because, well, they're new. I mean, I bought them. They weren't even on sale or anything. I just bought them. But, yeah, it's a little bit different than retail. It's more office style. I get after the girls if they don't come with makeup or their hair done or dressed up. Sometimes I'm just like,
because it's a professional environment. Yeah.
Like, where are you going? Like,
not saying that, you know, the retail wasn't a professional environment, but I think it's different. Yeah, it's always going to be different. You know, it'd be different if we were a law office. You know, everyone would most likely be slacks and briefcase, you know, ready to go. Because
a law office.
Yeah, because you got to go to court in a little bit, I'm sure. You know what I mean? Here we're business casual, but not as casual.
Well, I mean, I always wear heels.
Yeah, and I always know your heels. Okay, that's the funny part. I distinguish all the ladies' heels. I know when it's Christine. I know when it's Claudia. I know when it's Daniela, Chris, Lucy, Maria.
How do you know mine?
Because yours are like that means business, and then like Christine is like she's like walking, like she's fast, she's ready.
She's always running.
Yes, but I know yours because it's like you're either most likely going to the front office or you're going to meet a client that's on my side of the office. So it's like, which way is she going? I'm like, okay.
That's funny. So, what other things will you recommend the realtors for marketing a strategy?
I think another fun thing would be, obviously we talked about making it personal, but more or less how that personal can be intertwined into the business.
Okay.
And that would mean, okay, so for example, out of the podcast episode last week on how you were talking about you were first starting out and the mortgage rate that you had then, but those are the stories that you have for customers now to learn. You know what I mean? So taking advantage of your own personal thoughts and your own what's happened to you and how to bring it back to your customers in order to give them a better insight of what's going on.
And I think that that's very important because honestly, if you put the perspective on the customer, if you give the customer the perspective of what you have already seen, then that definitely helps, you know, the customer understand better. Because like, for example, right now I'm getting a lot of, you know, customers that they're like, oh my God, you know, the interest rate is so high. You know, it's 7% or 6.5%. And I literally, when I tell them, I said, oh, you know what? When I started doing mortgage loans, the interest rate was 8%. And then that kind of like, wait, what?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah.
8%? I'm like, yeah, it was 8%. So at that point, they kind of are like, oh, okay, well, but maybe it's not as bad
Yeah.
as I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's very important. Another recommendation that I would tell the realtors is not to really be scared of, again, how you do or how you sound or whatever. One time a coach told me this. So I was telling them, like, I just don't like how I look and how I sound on video. And then she told me, she's all like, well, she's like, I have something funny to tell you about that. And I was like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
And then she's all like, well, people see you live. You sound and you look the same that you look and you sound on the
I mean,
video.
it's
And
true
I was
though, yeah.
like, oh crap. I'm
Like,
like,
no
yeah, that's
excuses now.
true. Like, I mean, you do meet with people, you talk
Mm-hmm.
to people, you sound like you sound, and you
Mm-hmm.
look like what you look.
Mm-hmm.
So just do it. What
Yeah.
I'm doing now is when I'm recording the videos, I just record them and I don't even look at them.
Yeah.
Like he records them and I'm like, just post
Just
them.
post it, yep.
He posts the videos on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all this and that, and then I don't even look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like, then I'm getting all these likes and all these messages from people, but I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I mean, I guess I like them, but
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna worry about like how I look
Mm-hmm.
or did it sound good or did it sound bad or anything like that.
Because at the end of the day, if the information is making it to them, we're good.
It's good.
It'd
Right.
be different if we're posting them and there's no
Then
traction.
no one
Yeah.
is like, no one is looking at them. Okay, so one last thing.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, and remember, your mommy and your dad and your sister is probably watching this. So tell me, what was the worst, like, how do you say travesura? Like, like the worst thing that you did when you were a kid, like that you did, like that you got in trouble for.
Okay, so
like the worst one.
I think the worst one was a summer after graduating high school. We were gonna go to.
Okay, you weren't that little.
Okay, so
like
then
you were already knew what you were doing.
Let's see.
No, that one. If that one was the worst one that
I
you
mean,
did?
that's one of the worst ones.
Okay,
yes.
okay.
I was a good kid growing up. I really
Right.
was. It was whatever. It's whatever you finish high school, and then it's like woo. But so all my friends, they were moving the following week. It was the last week of summer, and I was going to Florida. So we were like, oh, let's all hang out. And then so my friend and I were like, you know what? Let's just drive around, see what happens all night. And then so we ended up literally just driving the whole vicinity of Corpus, and we end at Ocean Drive. Turn off the car, and then it's like, okay, time to go home. My car dies. We have a flight to catch at 7 a.m. the next day.
Oh no.
And there is a whole group of just like random people that they definitely look scary. And I'm like, my friend and I were like, okay. And I'm like, I don't know if I should call my dad because he's asleep and we have a flight. And then I try to call my cousin, no answer. I try to call my sister, no answer. So that I was like, hey dad, so funny story. I'm totally at Ocean Drive and my car's dead. And then
so he didn't know that you were in Ocean Drive?
He thought I was home already. He thought I was home already.
You call him and tell him I'm in Ocean Drive. What did your dad say?
So then, of course, he was more or less concerned if I was okay. So, good parent, might be in trouble later, but he just wanted to know if I was okay. But anyway, so he gets there. And then so this weird, scary couple comes up to us. And just imagine like the scariest people we've ever seen. So then they start talking to us about like what I need to do to my car. And then this lady is just like, you need to be careful down here. There's crazy people out here. People have a gun. And I was like, okay, yes, ma'am. She goes, I got a knife on me. And we're like,
oh no.
Okay. She goes, yeah, so you need to be careful. There's crazies out here. And we're like, okay. So we were like, leave the car there. We came back home. And then so my uncle, thankful to my uncle, he picked up my car in the morning, took it to the house, and we left. That was probably one of the worst things.
That you like got out of your house after. So you were
I was a good kid growing up.
You were a good kid. You didn't get that much in trouble.
No.
So I
Hold on. I have to know, what was your worst thing?
no, I have a lot of bad. I think that the one that my daughters love for me when I tell that story is so one time, I grew up in Mexico.
Mhm.
So when I was in middle school, I was after Christmas. So over there in Mexico, you buy fireworks and you can like literally use them there in the street or
Oh, wow.
whatever.
Mhm.
So I took fireworks to that school.
Oh.
So then we were a super tight group. Like we all like, I mean, I think it was like the last year of middle school and we were like super tight. So like no one like tied us off. No one told on anyone,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So I brought the fireworks and I had them in my backpack and we were there and like my classroom was on the second floor and there was a window,
Mhm.
like a big window. And on the side of our building, there was like an empty lot. Like there was nothing but like brush and like, like
Perfect place
grass
for
or
pop
whatever.
fireworks, I'm sure.
Perfect place to pop fireworks. So we're like on change of class. And so obviously, we sent two fireworks down there. And it was just like the little ones that you just go like,
Oh, yeah.
like goes like that. So they were like, we're looking and ha ha ha, and fun, whatever. So I never thought about the fact that it was like dry brush. So we sat and like literally we're sitting down, the class starts. Halfway the class, I like literally turn around and there's like smoke like on the window.
God.
Like bad smoke. Like, I was like literally, I turn around and I was just like, oh my God. And I like turn around the other side and I was like, dude. And then like I had my best friend, like, and I'm like, dude, like I'm like going like that, and like he turns around and we see more smoke. So at that point, the teacher stops the class and like they get all the cleaning people from the school, like all the ones that like clean. So they're like with the brooms to put down the fire. So at this point, we're all like sitting down and they're like, somebody threw something. We're gonna check the backpacks, and I was like, oh my God, like dude, like I'm gonna be in so much trouble. Well, anyway, thankfully, everybody knew that it was me, but they didn't know. Well, now they're gonna know. But the teachers, if they see it, if this gets to Mexico, the teachers are gonna know. But I mean, no one really
no one
knew.
was hurt. As long as no one was hurt, we're good.
So my kids always take it like against me. She's like, oh well, at least like if they get in trouble, like, well, at least they didn't like
start a fire
in school. And I'm like, well, I didn't either. I just didn't think about the dry brush. But anyway, yeah, that's crazy. Besides other stuff, I mean, I wasn't such a very good kid growing up. But well, Ventura, we're very happy to have you here with HomeSource Mortgage. Thank you. And again, all the realtors out there, even title companies, insurance people, or anybody that wants to, grab coffee with Ventura or something. He's not looking for a job, but you guys can talk to him to get tips or stuff like that. And we'll see you next week. We're excited because we're gonna have Breast Friends.
First Friday.
And first Friday with us because we're gonna we just had our pink party yesterday and it went really good. Yes. And we're gonna talk about the results of the pink party and everything, and we're gonna bring them as guest speakers so that we can learn more about them. Thank you guys.
Bye.